Welcome back to Ghost Seekers. I'm Charles Parley, and I've got some viewer mail that I'd like to share, and I've got just the expert with me to answer the questions, my friend Mac Payne. What is the role and significance of rituals, lucky charms, and superstitions in modern society?
I think in modern society it's different than how rituals started out in ancient times. And now it's mainly for control in situations where people don't think they're in control. The gambler blowing on dice before throwing them. The person rubbing a lucky rabbit foot before going into a job interview. It's to regain a sense of control. I think in the ancient world, it was more along the lines of making sure your mind, your psyche, was in the correct state of mind before calling upon ancient magics and ancient spirits.
What about you, Matt? Do you have any superstitions, any things that you do to make yourself feel like you can sort of turn the blame over for the result of something to...
I wouldn't say I turn the blame, but in my own personal research, I have now come to believe that wards are very important, and that if I'm going to spend any great deal of time in a place, I will carry a ward with me, just in case. You know, it's the worst thing to have happen is to be in a situation where you don't have protection, and it takes maybe 10 minutes to craft a ward.
Now explain to our viewers what a ward is.
A ward would be on, depending on what your focus is, as a lot of times it would be on crystal, and it would be in an ancient language called runic, and you'd scribe a specific symbol depending on what you wanted this item to be. If you wanted it to be protection, there would be a specific symbol on it. And that is the act of inscribing the symbol onto the object is what gives the object its power.
That's pretty much at the same level as me. I just don't step on cracks on sidewalks.
Yes.
So we're just still talking about... Oh, Brian had a question. Brian?
Yes, Dr. Payne, is the Holy Ghost, right, like of the Christian religion, is that just the same as any other ghost, or something different, or how do you see that?
Well, it's Mr. Payne. I don't have a doctorate. But even in the Christian Bible, it refers to ghosts. And it says, do not believe them, basically do not give them power. So every religion deals with this supernatural element to it. You know, as you've pointed out, the Holy Ghost is very prominent in their religion. So even though they say, your average Christian will say, no, I don't believe in ghosts, that's not how it works, one of the central tenets of the religion is a ghost.
And isn't that in every religion?
Yes. You go to ancient Egypt, you go to India, you go to Nordic religions. They all have this aspect of a spirit, an energy that is you but separate to your body, that continues after your body has died.
And that's all religions it's their answer to the afterlife. It's what happens to you when you die. Simple
Yes.
question. Everybody wants to know that answer. And is it virtually always a ghost formation?
It really depends on the religion, and it depends within that religion what kind of person you've been. To use extreme, in old Christianity, if a woman died not a virgin, not married and not a virgin, she could come back as a vampire and prey on men. So it depends on the religion, it depends on whether it's a true belief or a form of control.
I remember we discussed one time, you were telling me about a religion where the commandments weren't actually laid out. It was just a case of you're going to have to know from within what's right or what's wrong. What was that you told me?
The great god Tem in the ancient Egyptian religion, in the formation of it, which is often referred to as the Old Kingdom, the great god Tem, who is the creation god, if you will, basically said his only commandment is, do what I want you to do, don't do what I don't want you to do.
My first wife used to say that.
and his basic point was, live a good life and you'll be judged accordingly at death, not how well you've obeyed these rules.
What scares you? The darkness? The unknown? Or the sound of your very last breath.